Peace, good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you back into the Foul Playland. As always, I'm your Foul Player. I want to make my first video covering the draft, the NFL draft for this year. And I may do mock drafts like in the future, but I'm more like to assess certain players and compare what players I like better than others in the draft. And that's what brings me to my first subject. I'm gonna try to do positional things like this as far as like picking the guys that I like the most, or who I think are being undersold. Maybe sometimes like do the guys that I think are being overrated. And in this video, I'm gonna be comparing Kayvon Thibodeaux, or my thoughts as to why I think Kayvon Thibodeaux isn't as good of a prospect as Aidan Hutchinson of Michigan. But I've had this assessment for a minute now. I mean, like where where I think Aidan Hutchinson is the best draft prospect in this whole draft. Not to shit on on Thibodeaux. I do like Thibodeaux. But a lot of times I watch Thibodeaux's games and he may be the best guy in the field, but not by a lot. At times he disappears in games. Like when Oregon just lost against Utah, Thibodeaux didn't have a great game. He was all right, but they got blown out by Utah. That was a game that Oregon was supposed to win. But he disappears in games. Not disappears in games, but it's not. He doesn't have that impact where like, wow, this guy's like wrecking shop like this game. Whereas every game with Aidan Hutchinson, you always have that effect. Like, man, this guy's killing it. And on another thing too with Aidan Hutchinson, the two defensive tackles that they have on that team aren't that great. Yeah, they played good. 95, I think it was, played good against Ohio State last week. But overall, like I mean, they're not like freeing up pressure for Aidan Hutchinson. It's more Ajagbo on number 55 that helps him in that end. But it's still not like Aidan Hutchinson is getting is not getting double teamed because of it. He gets double teamed, he gets triple teamed, and he still wrecks shop. And the thing with Aidan Hutchinson too is that this is something that's improving. He's getting better every week. Namely against Ohio State. I mean, Michigan State, as you guys know, haven't beat Ohio State in 8 attempts, and they finally got the win versus Ohio State at home. I thought that Michigan was a little bit a better team than Ohio State this whole year. Not to take anything away from Ohio State, like because they do have a solid squad. I like Stroud, their quarterback, even though he's really young. But I thought Michigan was a little bit better team, and now it shows. But Aidan Hutchinson in that game had 3 sacks, had like a ton of quarterback hits. And he kept improving throughout the game. I mean, I think he got his first sack late in the first quarter. In an important spot when Michigan was driving. When Ohio State was driving down the field. Aidan Hutchinson gets a sack in the red zone, pretty much. But it's just that he's a beast. I mean, like I've been doing the whole like assessing players like really vigorously since 2013. Aidan Hutchinson is the best pass rushing prospect that I've seen since then. I mean, this is one of the best pass rush prospects that I've ever seen coming out of college. I mean, if you want to front on that, you can front on that. But for Kayvon Thibodeaux to be ranked consensus number 1 overall, I don't see it. I mean, he's very comparable to somebody I always talk crap about, like as far as effectiveness, which is Leonard Williams for the Giants. Somebody who could, he may be able to play over center at times and like play the gaps, but there's never a day where you're like, wow, this guy just took over the game. He's a good player, not a dope player. I mean, and I've been riffing about Leonard Williams being overpaid by the Giants. since they gave him that contract. I never liked Leonard Williams in USC. I never liked Leonard Williams on the Jets, and I've been consistent with that. But it's a easy comparison. I think Kayvon Thibodeaux is better than Leonard Williams? Absolutely, because Kayvon Thibodeaux does give you something from the edge where Leonard Williams doesn't. Um, but a lot of times he'll get into the backfield, and that's about it. And it's kind of like with the same thing that Leonard Williams does. He gets into the backfield a lot, but it ends there. I mean, like he doesn't get a lot of results. But as far as putting Kayvon Thibodeaux on the edge, you get away with putting him on the edge. But is he the best edge rusher? No. But I'm not grading him as and I'm not doing this video because I think he's the just on their edge rushing ability. I'm talking about overall ability. I think you could put Aidan Hutchinson in the in the interior of the line and he'll still get busy. They do that sometimes, but there's no need to because they have two great edge rushers and they could just run at you from the edge every game with Michigan and Jagbo and Aidan Hutchinson. But as far as pass rushing goes, I don't even think that Kayvon Thibodeaux is the second best pass rusher in this draft. I think that goes to Karlaftis, the pass rusher out of Purdue. And if Karlaftis weren't injured as much, I would definitely take him over Kayvon Thibodeaux if I were the Giants or the Jets. Not because of scheme, but it's because I think that overall he's a better player than Kayvon Thibodeaux. There's not really a lot of excellent things that Kayvon Thibodeaux does besides getting into the backfield, but not getting sacks. Do I think Kayvon Thibodeaux is a top 10 player? Yeah. But I also think that there's a good possibility that in this draft there's going to be 3 pass rushers that are taken in the top 10 in Kayvon Thibodeaux, Aidan Hutchinson, and George Karlaftis. But Karlaftis, I think, is a way better prospect. There's a lot of things that Karlaftis does better than Aidan Hutchinson. But it's just the injury stuff that scares me. And, there's not many games where, all right, like Karlaftis against Iowa. Purdue was unranked against Iowa, and Karlaftis single-handedly took out a top-ranked team. I think Iowa was ranked number 3, and Thibodeaux was having his way with Iowa. And it's not like Iowa has a bum line or a bum team. Iowa has a great team. But Karlaftis wasn't having any of that. He wrecked that game. Now I look back at Thibodeaux, and it's not like I haven't watched his games. I mean, I don't watch his games a lot live because they come on really late. But or some of them when they're on the West Coast, they come on really late. But how many times have I seen Thibodeaux wreck a game? Really never. And I every time I watch an Oregon game, and I like Oregon. And going back to I like Oregon, and I'm not looking for stuff to pick apart, but a lot of times I watch those Oregon games, and I'm looking at a lot of other people on that line play just as good, or comparable at least. You know what I'm saying? So there's no sticking out. All right, put it like this: I had a bunch of people at my house for Thanksgiving, and that Saturday, I watched the game, and my nephew doesn't watch college football. And I was I my bad. I can't pay attention because I gotta watch my boy, the guy who I like the most in this draft play, which is Aidan Hutchinson, and I pointed him out once, and throughout that game, my nephew, without knowing really football that well, he's saying, "Oh shit!" He got another sack. He did this, did that. He just sticks out. He's really good, man. I think he's a world-class pass rusher. And I think there might be 2 world-class pass rushers in this class. I also like Majai Sanders from Louisville. No, is it Louisville? Cincinnati, I'm sorry. Majai Sanders, and I like him at the edge more than I like Kayvon Thibodeaux too. But I wouldn't draft Kayvon Thibodeaux ahead of Majai Sanders because I think he played better last year, Sanders, than he's playing this year, or he's playing just as good last year. He's not like showing that improvement that I anticipated when I had Sanders going in last year's draft. I thought he was going to go into last year's draft, and I had a second round grade on him. I mean, he is going to go in the first round, but he hasn't showed that marked improvement like a Aidan Hutchinson, or like you expect, a older prospect to show that improvement. But on the edge, I still like him better than Kayvon. Like overall, I would still, but I would overall take Kayvon if they both fell to me, so to say. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, like for the Lions, I mean, like they should be strongly interested in taking Aidan Hutchinson #1 overall, or trade the pick down. But I think that that Hutchinson doesn't get past the 7th pick. I mean, like that's like an easy prediction to make. But I think that like even that's being very conservative. I think he doesn't get past like the #4 pick. I mean the #5 pick. But let me know what you guys think. With that, I'm out. Whether you agree or disagree, like I'm not doing this because I'm a Michigan fan, because I'm not. I hate Michigan. I hate Ohio State. I don't love Oregon, but I like Oregon a lot. I've always liked Oregon. I love the uniforms. Like I don't have any college team like that. Like where I'm like, make or break. I'm from New York. We don't have college teams. But I like all college teams for the most part. I mean, I never liked Michigan. I never liked Ohio. I've never liked USC. Who else I don't like? Texas sometimes. I like Texas, but I'm not riding like that because my affinity for Michigan, because I have distaste for Michigan. I don't like Michigan, but I do like their 2 pass rushes this year. But so let me know what you guys think. With that, I'm out.